Welcome back to another NCAT game review, and today we have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and after having my heart broken by Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 breaking on me, I get the hype now. And as I said in the opening here, I've tried playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. I played it relatively after it came out on my PS4, and I got about a quarter of the way through the game, and it broke. I had a mission marker, I couldn't go to it, I couldn't continue on the main mission. I searched it up on Reddit and pretty much everybody told me you have to restart the game. The map marker was there, but the person wasn't. And for that, I had to stop playing the game because I just wasn't willing to restart. I didn't quite get the hype. While I was enjoying the game, I didn't quite feel what everybody else was feeling when they played it. Now when number 2 came along, I thought I have to give this another chance. Playing it on a PS5, surely it can't be as broken as the first one, and it was not. I'm a huge lover of open world RPG games. Witcher 3 is probably my favourite game of all time. So when I come into a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, my expectations are very, very high. Because for me, The Witcher 3 was perfect. Does Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 reach those expectations? It does. It is such a fun game. You can really feel the love that the developers Warhorse Studios put into this game. They deserve so much praise. It is incredible. When I booted up the game and I saw the title Deep Silver come up and found out that they were the publisher, that also got me excited because Deep Silver has nothing but my respect. I love Dead Island. They are some of my favourite games of all time. Open world, zombie. Put those together, you can't go wrong in my opinion. When I saw Deep Silver come up in the intro, my hype for this game went through the roof and it just continues on from there. You take control of Henry of Skalitz, who is essentially a servant or a bodyguard for the noble Hans Capon, and you acting as an envoy to find out about the allegiances to King Sigismund. The world around you is at war, and there is no one true king at the moment. There are two sides fighting each other and are fighting for the kingdom, and it feels really, really fluid the way that this game rolls and puts you in different scenarios that furthers the plot, furthers the plot, furthers the plot. And it usually looks a bit like Hans of Capon gets in trouble, Henry comes to the rescue, because Capon is this loud, obnoxious noble who thinks he's above everybody else and can't get in trouble, and he does get in trouble. And Henry is this lowly, even though he isn't, kind of guy who has to save Hans from being killed. And that's pretty much how this game just continuously goes. And the world itself just feels so expansive, and it really does have its own little quirkiness in each little village and each little town that you go to, own bits of personality, while also having that medieval feeling that makes you feel like you are in the medieval times, and this is exactly what would have happened. I spent way too much time in what I thought was the map of this game. So I was doing all these side missions, I barely touched on any of the main missions, and then I thought to myself, oh, I'm sort of seeing the whole map here, I'll start these main missions. And then it turns out that there is a whole nother map that you unlock in this game that I had absolutely no idea about. So I spent 50 hours, I think, on the first sort of map area that you unlock in the game, that you begin the game in. And then you find yourself, once you've completed a certain amount of story missions, in another bit of the map. And it's like a whole new game again. And I thought that was really, really interesting. And I had no idea about that coming into the game. And it was a pleasant surprise because I had played 60 hours and I thought, I can play another 60 hours of this game easily. And bang, here comes the new mission level where you have a whole new area, which the layout's a little bit different as well, which makes it really good because in the first opening level that you get, the first map, it's very spread out villages. There's no real kingdom around anywhere. It's just little villages here, little villages there. There's some gypsies on the road in a little encampment. That's pretty much it. There's no real big settlements. Then when you unlock the second map area, there's this huge bustling city. And you sort of get that feeling like, okay, we've moved to another map. And that's cool as well because it makes the game not feel so stale and makes it feel like you're just doing the same missions in the same area. And then you have this sort of feeling of, oh, this is what medieval life would have been like when we're in the big town. It's got the rich area where all the rich people are. It has the poor area where it's run down. There's latrines in the street. There's drunken people walking around starting fights everywhere. The NPCs are all poor, begging for you. There's like a Jewish quarter where they're all segregated off in their own area, which also builds into the narrative. There's the area where there's the Germans, there's the area where there's the Croatians, and then none of them are friendly, and it's just all, it feels like this vibrant world that I liken it to if you were playing like D&D and you were trying to create like your own narrative. This game just embodies that and perfects it so well. And then you find out that if you look into the making of this game, that a lot of these characters are real, based on real people, based on real events, based in a real time. So that also adds to the level of narrative that's being built here. It builds the story up because it's like, oh, this is taken from real historical facts. It might be twinged a little bit to make it more game friendly, to make it more like a narrative, make it more missions, but it's based off true stories, so that's kind of cool to know as well when you're playing through the game. If you've played enough RPG games, you know that most of them build in a mini game for you to play that becomes like some sort of a little mini quest bonus challenge that you can have throughout the game. In The Witcher, it's Gwent, which is the best game ever. It is so fun. In Fallout, it has the little Pip-Boy games that you can pick up throughout the game, and in this game, it is a dice game. Similar to, if you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Man's Chest, the game that Davy Jones plays on his ship with his crewmates, gambling years of servitude that they're going to have on the ship. Butched up Bill, you're alone to cheat, you spend the rest of your days aboard the ship. That's
100 souls!
Where you are essentially gambling on having pairs of dice be the same. And the game is quite fun, and you gamble obviously the money that you have in the game, and I found it to be really fun. You can get these little badges that give you certain abilities in the mini game. So that sort of side of things was fun, and it was a good mini game where if you found yourself going into a new area of the map or into a new tavern and you see the little dice icon come up, you go, oh yeah, I'm going to play because I want to see if I can either make some money or get a different badge, and I found it to be fun. The only downfall of it was you can't skip the other players, the NPC's turn. I hate that. It is so frustrating waiting for them to finish their turn. I wish you could just skip it. That's one little thing where I'm like, come on, skip that please. Now the game wasn't perfect, okay? Obviously no game is ever perfect. This one gets pretty close, but there was a few little pet peeves that I didn't like. When you kill a bandit or you kill somebody and they drop their weapon and you have to actually manually find the weapon on the floor, did my head in. When you go up to the body and you try to loot it, you can find everything that you can loot off that character, the armor, their food, the potions, everything. But the weapon, where the weapon drops and it lies, that's the only place where you can find it. Oh, I hated it so much, especially when you were in such a tough battle. You kill someone, you're in some foliage, and then you have to go and fight somebody else, and then you try and come back and try and find the sword that you killed with the guy like 5 minutes ago. Impossible. There was some bits of realism in the game that just didn't make sense. I mean, there's a scene when you're sneaking through a forest that has hundreds of guards everywhere looking for you because you escaped the prison, and then you get to a wagon, and the next cutscene is these people dragging the wagon through the forest, and there's no guards there anymore. And there's no one still looking for you. So that was sort of like, okay, that's a bit dumb. If I had any recommendations for you when playing this game, my first one would definitely be go and find Tomcat with the Nomads. He will give you the explanation on how to do combat. He will teach you a few techniques that will get you very far in the game and make combat in the game easier. Because if you're going into this game and you haven't played the other Kingdom Come Deliverance, or if you're going into this game and you have played it and the combat you find, the combat can make or break the game for you. I spent the first 10 hours of the game grinding, absolutely struggling through without realizing that if I had gone to Tomcat and learned techniques off him and essentially him showing me how to fight, then I would have been enjoying the game and getting through the game a lot easier. The game doesn't cherry pick you to go to see him. It pretty much just gives you this marked quest that you don't even like start, and it just pops up in your inventory, and you don't really get told like, hey, you should definitely go. It just says like, go and see Tomcat, and he's all the way on the other side of the map. So you sort of think to yourself, oh, I can wait, this isn't like an important mission. Go and see Tomcat. It is so worth it, trust me, because he'll make combat for you so much more bearable and get the game going, really, get the game rolling for you. Similar to that, go and see the Miller. He will open up a branch of the game that involves lots of sneaking, lots of lockpicking, lots of espionage type stuff where you're breaking and entering, stealing stuff without people noticing. And it opens up like an Assassin's Creed type avenue of this game for you, where up until that point you hadn't really done a lot of that. It was mainly just, you know, doing Henry missions, doing things like that. So go and see the Miller. Similar to like Skyrim, which I have a lot of fun doing. So those are my 2 recommendations for you if you're starting the game straight away. On that though, the lockpicking in this game is way too damn hard. I don't understand how you're supposed to get better at it. I mean, if you're doing anything above a medium lock, it's game over. You are not getting into that goddamn lock unless you pickpocket keys off somebody else. Now, that's pretty much what I did throughout the whole game. If it was anything over a medium lock, go around and pick up the guard, you'll find the key, because the lockpicking in this game is so hard and there's no real wiggle room in my playthrough, at least. Maybe there is out there, but in my playthrough there's no real wiggle room to get better at it at all. So that was another little thing where I was like, oh, this is almost too challenging. I'll wrap this review up by saying I think everyone should play Kingdom Come Deliverance. It might not be up everyone's alley who's into RPG games that are hack and slash, because you have to use a little bit more finesse in the combat, because the game is a little bit slower. You can't just breeze through this game and jump through scene through scene through scene and just hack and slash your way through. You have to have a little bit of poise, you have to have a little bit of timing and patience to get through. But the narrative is so fun, the way it builds up is so great, it feels smooth throughout the game, like you want to know what's coming next. You can also get lost in just doing side quest missions and completely forget about doing the main quest. I think that's also a great marker for when a game is really good. The character of Henry Skalitz is good. I mean, He's not the most incredible character you're ever going to see, but you can make him feel like your own through dialogue, through the way he treats people, through the way he either kills or doesn't kill people, knocks them out, kills them stealthily, whatever you want to do. You can make him your own sort of character. I think there's no surprises when you hear this is one of the games of the year, because I think it is. And I think if you play it, you will enjoy it. If you got this far in the review, I'd love to know what you struggled with the most in this game. Did you struggle with the combat as well? I mean, I had to, like I said, look up a YouTube video to get through certain parts of combat at the beginning of the game because I didn't realize you had to go find Tomcat. So I'd love to know in the comments, did you struggle with the combat as well? Did you struggle with lockpicking? Is there a technique that I don't know that you can use to make lockpicking easier? Please, because I will go back and I will lockpick the hundreds of cases and things that I left behind and loot that I left behind because I just simply didn't have the time nor the patience to want to lockpick. So don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you liked what you heard today. Let me know if there's any other games that you'd like to hear us review. I think the next one will be Oblivion Remake because I mean it looks incredible. I've played the original, so I'm going to have to play the remake, of course. Anyway guys, this has been another Uncut Gaming Review. Peace.